What if the real reason your memory is declining has almost nothing to do with your brain? What if it actually starts somewhere completely unexpected, your gut? It sounds strange, I know. But over the last decade, researchers have discovered a direct biological connection between your digestive system and your cognitive function. Scientists call it the gut-brain axis, and for adults over 40, what is happening in your gut right now may be one of the most overlooked drivers of memory loss and brain fog. In this video, I am going to explain exactly how this connection works, and what you can do about it. Here is something most people do not know. Roughly 90% of your body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter most associated with mood, focus, and cognitive function, is not produced in your brain at all. It is produced in your gut. Your digestive system contains over 500 million neurons, connected directly to your brain through a nerve pathway called the vagus nerve. This means your gut is not just digesting food, it is constantly sending signals to your brain, influencing memory, mood, and mental clarity in real time. When your gut is healthy, those signals support clear thinking. When your gut is out of balance, the signals change, and so does your cognitive function. Inside your gut live trillions of bacteria, collectively called your gut microbiome. These bacteria do far more than help you digest food. They produce a wide range of chemical compounds that directly influence your brain. Some strains produce GABA, a neurotransmitter that calms nervous system activity and supports clear, focused thinking. Others produce short-chain fatty acids, particularly one called butyrate, which crosses into your bloodstream and has been shown in research to reduce inflammation throughout your body, including inflammation in your brain. This matters enormously, because in an earlier video I explained that chronic low-grade neuroinflammation is one of the 3 biological root causes of memory decline after 40. What I did not explain is where a significant portion of that inflammation actually originates. For many adults, it starts in the gut. When your gut microbiome becomes imbalanced, a condition researchers call dysbiosis, the lining of your intestines can become more permeable than it should be. This is sometimes referred to as leaky gut. When this happens, inflammatory molecules that should stay contained in your digestive system leak into your bloodstream instead. From there, they travel throughout your body, including to your brain, where they contribute directly to the neuroinflammation that damages synaptic connections and slows neurotransmitter production. Dysbiosis has been linked in research to higher levels of inflammatory markers in the blood, and several studies have found a correlation between poor gut microbiome diversity and lower cognitive performance in adults over 50. The gut is not separate from your brain. It is, in many ways, an extension of it. Here is the part that makes this especially relevant for you, if you are over 40. Gut microbiome diversity, the variety of different beneficial bacteria strains living in your digestive system, naturally declines with age. Research shows this decline often accelerates around the same time many people start noticing memory changes, brain fog, and slower cognitive processing. It is not a coincidence. Decades of antibiotic use, processed food consumption, chronic stress, and reduced fiber intake all compound over time, gradually reducing the diversity and health of your gut bacteria. By the time many adults reach their 40s and 50s, their gut microbiome looks very different and far less diverse than it did in their 20s. And a less diverse microbiome produces fewer of the beneficial compounds your brain depends on. The good news is that your gut microbiome is one of the most responsive systems in your entire body. Unlike some biological changes that take months or years to shift, gut bacteria populations can change measurably within just a few days of dietary changes. Here are the 3 most evidence-backed actions. First, increase fiber intake, specifically from diverse plant sources. Different fiber types feed different bacterial strains, so variety matters more than quantity alone. Vegetables, legumes, and whole grains are your best sources. Second, add fermented foods to your diet regularly. Yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi all introduce beneficial bacteria directly into your gut. Research shows regular fermented food consumption measurably increases microbiome diversity within weeks. Third, reduce ultra-processed food and artificial sweeteners. Several studies have found that artificial sweeteners specifically disrupt gut bacteria balance, even though they contain no calories. This is the same processed food category we discussed in earlier videos as a driver of neuroinflammation, and now you can see exactly how it connects, through the gut. I want to be honest with you about something here. Diet and fermented foods are genuinely the most direct way to improve your gut health. There is no supplement that replaces that. But here is the connection that matters. Even with a healthier gut producing better signals, your brain still needs the raw materials to use those signals effectively: the neurotransmitter precursors, the structural fats, the compounds that support synaptic communication. This is where a supplement like Advanced Memory Formula plays a complementary role. It contains DHA omega 3, phosphatidylserine, and Bacopa minerae, nutrients that support the brain side of this equation, working alongside the dietary changes that support your gut. I have linked it in the description if you want to look into it. I earn a small commission if you purchase through it, at no extra cost to you. But the gut work, that part is on you, starting with what is on your plate today. Before I go, here are 3 specific foods to add to your routine this week that directly support your gut-brain connection. First, plain yogurt or kefir with live active cultures, ideally unsweetened, once a day. Second, a handful of mixed vegetables with every meal, prioritizing variety over volume. Different colors generally mean different fiber types. Third, 1 serving of a fermented food a few times a week. Sauerkraut, kimchi, or miso all work well, and a small amount goes a long way. None of these require a special diet or significant expense. They simply require consistency. If this gave you a new way of thinking about your brain health, please subscribe. I cover research like this every Tuesday, connecting the dots that most health content misses. The Advanced Memory Formula link is in the description. Take care of your gut, and your brain will thank you. See you next Tuesday.